Hello, beautiful ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you don't know what the fifth dimension is or much about it, stick around. I'm going to give you a special message at the end. And take it from someone who's been forged in the fires of painful third dimensional experiences and come out the other side. You don't want to miss that message. Now today we are looking at Amira Willighagen, Nella Fantasia. Look at that beautiful set. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, I don't know what this is. Comment if you have any idea what this is. And by the way, like this video and like her video later on. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. But do you know what this is? Is it from a show or from a opera? I don't know what. Tell me if you know anything. And tell me if you're what do you think of this costume and this set? This is really something, isn't it? In the comments, let me know. Okay, cool. Oh, here she comes. Look how beautiful. Here she comes. Look how beautiful. I'm always amazed at how those beautiful sounds come out of this little thing. Trained their whole lives for that. And here she is, what, about 11 or something? Oh my goodness. Let's go back and hear that beautiful note. And do you know anything about this, whatever this show is? That comment and let me know. Listen to the richness of her voice. Her voice is so rich. Let's hear that again. Oopsie. Look at this guy's doing the same thing. He's like, oh my gosh, this is so unbelievable. She's no shirker either, that flutist. We got to hear that again, guys. We can't even possibly. I want to go back to hear that other build-up. I wanted to stop it, but I knew there was something really great coming, so I had to keep it going. Here we go. Build-up. Oh my goodness. Look at them coming to their feet. Coming to their feet. How does she hit that note? Oh my goodness. And look at the splendor and the spectacularness. Live at Classics is Groot. Classics is Groot. 2016. I don't know what that means. Anybody know anything about Classics is Groot? That's where the thing that she was performing at. And look at the splendor of that performance too. I mean, they did not spare any expense to make that thing amazing. I need to know more about that too, if you guys know any more about that. Wow. Something else. Anything at all that you know about anything there. The place, the Classics Groot, the song, anything at all, comment here. I need to know more. Oh my goodness. So, oh my goodness. And, oh, That was amazing. And so, I just don't even know what to say. She just leaves me breathless every time. She leaves me speechless every time. It's another 5 on the scale of 1 to 5. 1 being very third dimensional, 1 being there very fifth dimensional. She only does 5. God bless you. She is pulling and pulling and pulling us to the higher realms. You can feel that uplifting you. People just had to get up on their feet because they were just so lifted up. Oh my goodness. Just that's what it is. It's like that's fifth dimension. When you're in that high place of love or joy or peace or bliss. I mean, she just lifts us right up out of our seat. God bless her heart. So that was spectacular. By the way, she has a heart of gold, speaking of which. And I know she has this charity, Glückskinder, which is basically happy children, which she started when she first began to make money as a singer, like as a child. And, she became the CEO recently. And they do things like building playgrounds and making it's happy children. And she says happy children make happy adults. And that's absolutely true. And I was just told that there is a video where she actually sings and shows what this Glückskinder is. So I'm going to put that video in the notes and you guys can check it out. And hopefully some of you might want to do this as your good deed. Donate to this one here. Okay. And that's about her. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, you could do a couple things. I've got a YouTube video, just 3 minutes here, but it points you to a longer YouTube video, which is really about that being forged in the fire journey of life that I had and all the various skills and talents that actually came out of it. It takes pain sometimes to create certain kinds of talents. And so, also, if you want to just see that laid out in print, you can go to my description on YouTube and hit the drop down more and go down to About Lorelei on Patreon. And that's where I have the gamut of what I'm up to, sort of. So, beloved ones, oh my goodness. She is just she's just an angel come down to earth. That's all I can say. I don't know how she has a voice like that at that age. Really, literally trained singers, trained for 20 years and in their 30s, they can do that, right? Oh my goodness. So God bless her heart. Okay. What was I? Oh, my message. I got to get to my message. My 5D message. How will we get healthy and stay healthy in the fifth dimension? Okay, so let's just sort of first understand what we have going on here in the body and everything else. So first of all, we've had a lot of toxins and stuff like that coming at us like crazy that would destroy the physical form. And also, in addition, we have had a lot of thoughts in our head that we were going to die at a certain age, get sick at a certain age. It's just been barraging us. This is the age you're going to get this disease, and at this age you'll get that disease, and you get a whole gamut of ages of diseases nowadays, at all kinds of ages. In fact, I go on a show and watch the older shows, which is probably geared to the 60 to 80 crowd, 60 plus crowd, right? And all I see on there is commercials for whatever drug of whatever disease. That's all the commercials they sell to you. So we're getting barraged constantly with how your body's going to fall apart, how you're going to get this sickness and that sickness, as well as all the toxins that actually cause those sicknesses. We'll go into that another time about the dirty food industry, the dirty medicine industry, the whole thing. That's another story. But so in the Bible, if you recall, it would talk about people living to 800 or more years. Oh, you thought that's crazy, but it's actually not. As a matter of fact, this physical form, if you treat it right, is meant to last several hundred or more years. See, that was the setup in the beginning when we came down to this physical reality, because it was understood that you could not really get your lessons. If you were living 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and then you die, you don't get the lessons that you need to get, because now you come back again, you got to start all over, and then you die early again, and then you got to come back again and start all over and die early, and it's going to be a very, very long time before you're going to get your lessons. So that was not the setup in the beginning. In the beginning, this physical form was given to us, and it was perfectly fine to last for hundreds of years if it were taken care of on this good earth with healthy foods from the earth. and with healthy medicines and stuff that the earth brings to us. I don't mean medicines, I mean herbs and things that have medicinal purposes that the earth brings to us. We had everything we need, and we should last for a long, long time. But then in came the drop in from third dimension, from a higher, probably upper fourth to fifth dimension kind of thing, down to the third dimension. And then became all the thoughts of wars and everything else that were killing people off, right, at a very young age. And then came all the thoughts of you're going to die at this and that age. And it's been many, many hundreds and thousands of years since anybody's lived anything more than at the max 100, but mostly like 80, and sometimes in the medieval ages it was even a lot less. Okay, but that was not the plan, that was not the setup. But the dark energies, and arguably the dark individuals who had a hold of our planet, they loved it that we were doing that and getting into the cycle of reincarnation, because we were so miserable, and just reincarnating back again and never getting to the point over and over and over thousands of years where we could get off and get up to the higher dimensions again. They love that, because that's what those darker kind of energies and individuals and entities kind of feed off of, if you will. That's a whole nother video. Reminder to self, do a video on that. So we dropped way, way, way down. So that's the first thing. The very first thing is when we get to the fifth dimensional consciousness and higher, we're going to have, everything's going to be working for us to live longer. It's not going to be working against us. It's going to be working for us to live longer. Okay? And we're in these beautiful physical forms that we have. And there's a certain amount of upkeep with healthy foods. Of course, we're going to be always eating that, always going to be drinking healthy water. But with sort of medicinal things, you usually would never have an accident or hurt yourself in any way, shape, or form. But if that ever happened, God forbid, then there's all the ways to cure that very, very quickly. Not only with the herbs and the medicines, but with consciousness. Now, see, Native American people had that on the ball when it came to healing. If somebody got sick or whatever, they all got together in a big circle. They all did their medicines and their herbs with them, and they sent the love consciousness. They sent the healing consciousness as a group, as a tribe. And you want to know what? They healed pretty darn quickly. So Native Americans, by the way, have held the space. God bless their hearts. They've held the space for this fifth dimensional kind of divine spark goings on, so to speak. They've held it for many, many thousands of years, and that's a really important job that they've had. So thank you, Native Americans. So that'll be the first thing. Now, what do we do to get there, though? Because we're pretty kind of a mess right now, right? Aren't we? A lot of us, right? We've got all these sicknesses. We got all kinds of autoimmune diseases, and I'll tell you about that some other time, and how that comes for it's not normal, right? To everybody in the world have autoimmune diseases. That's not normal, right? So we got all this mess going on. Well, what we understand is happening very, very shortly, which is really exciting, is that the quantum healing technology, or something that's called medbeds for short, they've been out there in the greater kind of planet for a while. I mean, I say the greater planet, what I mean is the rich elites have had access to these, but of course we're not releasing them to the little peons here walking around. But pretty soon, these medbeds are going to be released. We know that this is one of the reasons why the current president has said that we're going to be the healthiest we'll ever be. That plus the other, the new Department of Health and Human Services is cleaning up what they're doing to our food and our water and so on. Okay, so we know that this is a part of it, and he's understanding that these are going to get out to the population. So what this is going to provide is going to be so wonderful, because you'll literally get in the bed, and it's almost looks like a big CAT scan thing. And the frequency and the vibration and the light and all of that is going to quantum heal your body to perfection. Now, I don't know how long it takes. I can't tell you one way or the other on that. I don't know if you have to go in once for an hour or once for 8 hours or a week of 8 hours. I have no idea. Something kind of clicks in my mind, like 3 days is what I'm thinking might be possible. I think I've heard that somewhere. So it might be a long stretch for 3 days or something like that. But every possibility of your healing everything to perfection and reversing your age by like 30 years. I'm talking about how you look, not your actual age, but your age as you appear or feel. So this is coming. This is something to be so excited about. So now once you put in the elderly people first, the disabled, of course, people first, the people have the worst conditions will go in first. And then all the way down the line to the people that are just, kind of annoyed that they're not able to be as active as they used to be or whatever. Everybody's going to get in there, especially children. The terrible things when I sit on watch on TV about children. Eczema. Why are there so many children having eczema that you literally have to put a commercial on the TV about it? What is the insanity of that? I mean, that's not normal. So everybody's going to be healed. And then we come into this fifth dimensional experience. And of course, don't forget that you're having your quantum abilities. You're going to understand that you are a spark of the creator and you have all those powers of a divine spark of the creator. And you can shift that and morph that body. I know it sounds insane, doesn't it? It absolutely sounds insane. But let me ask you this. How did Jesus walk on water? How did he multiply the loaves and the fishes? How did he turn the water to wine? How did Moses part the Red Sea? And how do the Tibetan Buddhists sit on a mountain of ice in shorts and a t-shirt or whatever? They're just very something small. Maybe it's a little wrap, for those guys. But they're sitting there and they're melting the ice around them, and their body temperature stays. These are known. These are absolutely known things that are going on and have gone on. So, we really can't argue that it's impossible because we've seen it. I've seen it many, many times among different types of people around the world. In India, you have their sages that say, on such and such a day, I'm going to dissolve into my light body. And that day comes and there they go. And there are people crowd all around, Buddha, they stood in line. He said, I'm going to die. I'm going to not die. He said, I'm going to go to the next life or the next reality at such and such a time, such and such a day. They lined up for miles and miles and miles and miles. And they all came one at a time to say goodbye and, give him, kiss his hand or whatever they did in that day and age, give him a hug. And at the last person left, and so did he. So we know these, we've heard these stories. They're not crazy, wild, outlandish because we've heard of them, we've known of them. It's not that it can't be done, it's that it has not been done because the majority of the population is not at a high enough vibration to actually do any of this. So this is something to look forward to. Just what do you got to do? You just got to raise your vibration. Be in a better place. Be in a happier place. Be in a joyful place. Be in a loving place. Be in a peaceful, serene, harmonious place. The more you do that, the more you're raising your frequency, the closer you are to the next dimension. And at some point, your body really will not be able to get sick. It's at a certain vibration. And I've been really sick and got into a circle of people really sick and raised my vibration because we were doing some really high stuff. I was at a particular, spiritual retreat, really high spiritual stuff. And I was up here like that. And that sickness that literally felt like food poisoning or something went away. Then I got out of there and my vibration began dropping and dropping and dropping. And I'm remembering it and it comes back. So all we have to do is just stay up there in that high place, And I made it through that weekend, by the way. I kept just consciously raising it. It would drop, raise, drop, raise. And amazingly enough, I made it through that weekend. So, and I also understand that when you're in the higher vibrations, you're doing so much. Like you have so much energy, right? You can get up and run a few miles and then go to a fair, go sing some songs, have a beautiful concert, go to have a beautiful play, and still have tons and tons and tons of energy. And this is also keeping you moving, right? You're just always moving around and doing things. So the body is staying healthy and fit. And you don't feel tired. You literally don't feel tired. Like there's so much energy in the higher dimensions. Okay, friends, I'm going to close up there with this conversation, but you have a lot to look forward to. So now I'll start by sending you that beautiful energy, that perfect health, that beautiful, tons and tons of energy, the love, the peace, the bliss, the brotherhood, the harmony, the abundance, all coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.
love you.